Freddie, how are you?
Good.
Very good. What are the lessons learned from last year that will help this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what went into last year was us not hitting with runners in score position. I think from game 2 to 4, we were like, we had a stretch of like 0 for 18, 0 for 19, 0 for 20. So I wish there was a blueprint of this is what we need to do better. It's really if we can get the big hit. That's what playoffs are. It's if you can get a guy or two on, hit a big 3-run home run. Pitching obviously is massive in the playoffs, but if we can just get the big hit this year, then I think we'll be okay.
Dave Roberts talked to us just kind of about a conversation and a couple of events had with him about making these 5 days a bit more intentional. Did you find that and just how you guys kind of were able to go through certain situations these last couple of years?
Yeah, so obviously the schedule was the same, but within the inter-squad games we did situations. And we had fans on Wednesday. So we were doing first and second, first and thirds, second and third, get them in, you get points and stuff like that as a group. And we were competing against each other, team by team. So it was more of just trying to replicate some situations that we'll have starting tomorrow. And, just instead of just going out there and, if Lance or someone was just striking everybody out, it's just, you're not going to get much out of it. So this time we just kind of did situational things the last couple of days, and I thought the work was really good.
With facing the Diamondbacks, there's obviously a lot of familiarity.
Yeah.
How do you use that going into the NLDS, or is it such a different situation that you kind of have to take what you can, but you have a different mindset heading in?
I mean, there's a little bit of the same, and obviously there's going to be, the settings are a little bit different, but you know the relievers that they have. So you're not facing them for the first time, or only you faced them, like if we played the Brewers, you only faced them 6 games, so you might have faced Hobie Milner twice in the course of the year, but now you're going to face like Kyle Nelson and those kind of guys multiple times over the course of the year, so you're familiar with their stuff and how they like to pitch you and things like that. So I think familiarity on both sides, so we'll see who can outmatch each other.
Freddie, what particular challenges do Gallon and Kelly represent, and the sort of when has a lot of you guys had success? You guys have?
Yeah, I mean, when you say those two names, they're 2 of the best pitchers in the game. I mean, Zach's going for the Cy Young with Blake, and Merrill's Merrill. He just throws up 180, 190 innings, and with 3 ERA. You're not going to get to the playoffs unless you have good pitching, and we're going to face 2 of the best here in the first couple of games. And we know what they got. We know how they like to pitch us, so hopefully we can get some hits.
And then with Clayton starting game 1, he even kind of admitted he wasn't fully expecting to start game 1. Just what have you sort of seen, I think, especially since coming off the IL, sort of battling through that?
Yeah, well, when number 22 is on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you feel pretty good about it. So Clayton Kershaw, even though he might not think he's fully ready or however he feels, I think everybody else in this stadium, the clubhouse, is pretty excited for him to start tomorrow. He might not be throwing a 95 like I used to face him 15 years ago, but he knows how to pitch, and he's the first ballot Hall of Famer for a reason.
Back around the middle.
Freddie, how's your lineup been different since JD Martinez returned from the injured list?
Well, JD, I mean, he's player of the week for a reason. When he sits in the 5 hole, and then obviously when he faces lefties, he goes to the 4 hole. It's just, you're putting a silver slugger right in the middle of your lineup that knows how to drive and runs, gets the big 2-out hits. He's been in championship teams, experience, so when you add someone like that, it makes our lineup that much longer. So massive sign for us this past offseason. He's been everything you could ask for this year.
Jack.
Freddie, you guys have talked about trying not to listen to external noise, how people thought you guys were going to do this year, but did just some of that kind of alleviate some of the pressure that comes with playing for this team to add to the kind of the way this team is bond over the course?
Yeah, I think when you put on this uniform, there's always pressure when you put it's a winning franchise. You expect to win when you come here, and yeah, we heard it that we didn't spend billions of dollars, and we're not going to be good now for some reason. But we knew in the clubhouse and spring training that we had a good group. Yeah, we needed to figure things out in the first 5-6 weeks, and then we caught fire, kind of as we went on 6-7 weeks in. So we knew what we had. We came together as a group real fast, and I think everybody that's been watching us play all year knows how much fun we had as a group, and it translates onto the field.
And obviously trying to win a World Series is motivation enough, but does last year help you guys lock in a little bit quicker?
I mean, we have a lot of new guys too, so if that helps, me or someone from last year take it into this year, I mean, we still got Jason Hayward, David Carlton, like, there's so many guys that weren't here from last year's group. So if you can take whatever you need to take to, I mean, it's the playoffs. I don't think you need any extra motivation, but it's a different group of guys with, the same mentality that we got to go out there and hopefully we have a good 3 weeks.
We are right.
Hey Freddie, I just spent the last 2 days with a dude who made a song called Hit the Freddie, based on the dance you guys do. Can you tell me about the second half of the season, how much fun you guys have been having with that?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, if people don't know, that started, we have a gala here for the Dodgers Foundation, and, it's a great event, and Usher was here, and everyone loves Usher, So I was having a good time, and I started dancing. I was dancing for a front office guy because he was videoing, so I was having fun, but somehow it went viral. But so we were at Max Muncie's house in Texas for his daughter's birthday, and we were all just hanging out. And then one guy started saying, "Let's do Freddie's dance," and we hit it down. I was like, "Oh, geez!" I just put my head down. Of course, the next day I was the first one to hit a double, so I decided to do it. But I think that's it's fun. And when you go on the road, obviously everyone does it here at Dodger Stadium, but when you go on the road and you do it back to your dugout, there is a whole group of Dodger fans, because we travel pretty well. So it's pretty cool. But hopefully there's a lot of dancing starting tomorrow.
And do you think all that type of fun has kind of made this group more tight-knit, especially after last year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you see what we do on the field. It's fun. Miguel Rojas is dancing 4 minutes before a game in the dugout to the songs, but there's a lot inside the clubhouse that we're having a good group. We have a good group. I haven't been into so many team dinners as a group before this year. It's just such a close knit. We have so much fun. It's fun to come to work every single day with this group of guys. So hopefully that translates into 11 more wins.
Get back row on the left.
Freddie, going back to Clayton, what have you seen from him lately? Kind of the lead by example, warrior mentality there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the first one to tell you he hasn't been feeling it like 100%, and he goes out there and gives you everything he got. The velocity is 88, 89 right now, and with that slider, it's still Clayton Kershaw. It's when he steps on the mound, you just feel good, and you're not going to feel good every single day for position players, maybe not every 5 days for starters, but when you're a competitor like he is, you find ways. You just find ways to be able to compete, you grind, you do everything you can in between starts to do the best you can. And what he's been able to do the last couple months, the way he's felt, it's inspiring. It's like, there's a reason Hall of Famers are Hall of Famers, and this is another chapter to Clayton Kershaw that just solidifies everything he's ever been about.
Wow.
Hey Freddie, another Clayton Kershaw question. Obviously you know his talent before you got here, but what has stood out to you in the 2 years you've been together, and have you ever stepped back and say, man, at least I get to spend part of my career with Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah, I think everyone that steps foot in Dodgers clubhouse gets to say they get to be a teammate of Clayton Kershaw, but I've always, I got to play with Chipper and Hall of Famers and things like that, but I always like to see how people are on their start days, especially starting pitchers. And Clayton is, it's fun. He conserves all his energy. He knows what he's doing day in and day out. When he starts, and then the 4 days leading up to starts, his work ethic in the weight room. Most people don't see he's here at 1 o'clock after start days in the outfield doing his exercise and getting his body getting ready for the next start. It's incredible, his work ethic, and he doesn't have the career he has just showing up every 5 days. But his start days are, I wish we could, I don't think he likes talking about it. I wish we could have a camera and just follow him around. It's a treat, but being around a Hall of Famer for 2 years, it's been nice.
Thanks.
Down here in the front.
Freddie, this is such a tight-knit group and a lot of veteran presence.
Yeah.
What do you say to some of the younger guys, especially the pitchers? This is their first experience in the postseason.
Yeah, words are words until you step foot onto that field and you got 55,000 people and every pitch matters. So, we do the best talking to James and Bobby and Emmett and Michael and everyone that's hasn't been in the playoffs before to just prepare them about what's going to happen, but we're humans. Emotions are emotions, and I always tell everybody, just let it happen, you work so hard in your whole life to become a major leaguer, and then you are wanting to win a World Series. So, and first time in, it's my first one. I struck out my first at bat because I was shaking in the box. That's just how it is. You can just tell them you lay out what it's going to look like tomorrow, but until they get into it and feel it, that's the beauty of being in this situation. So. Usually, one of my favorite things about this is being having one of the best records. You get home field advantage, so we are playing defense first. So you can get out there and play defense and kind of calm down by the time you get your first at bat potentially. But no, we just say we lay out what's going to look like, but let it happen, let the emotions happen, and once you get through the first little at bat, maybe the first play, everything usually settles down. And it's just a baseball game. Until 60,000 people are screaming.
Yeah, I think Kersh came on streaming service.
Right? I think it would be. So he's getting toward the end of his career, so maybe he'll allow that. You know?
So what was at stake with these sim game points and who won?
The blue teams won. So, but I was on the blue team the first day. We had the most points, and then the blue team, we switched jerseys, and the blue team beat us yesterday. So, no, it was just more of bragging rights. Blue team was hot, but you know, I felt like we had a chance yesterday. So we had bases loaded. There was no outs, and Doc instead wanted Johnny DeLuca to bunt, you know, just to work on the defensive play. And I was like, wait a second, we need to score these runs. And I want these guys to come in for points, but it's just more bragging rights between the guys. You know, Lance, Mookie got Lance yesterday. There's some cool things going on yesterday, but more bragging rights. But the blue team won, but I was not part of that second blue team.
Back wrong, right?
Okay, Freddie, in a traditional best of 7 playoff series, you can afford a loss, maybe even 2, but in a best of 5, games become more critical. Does that change strategically, mentally, anything about the game?
Not for us. I mean, we're just trying to win every single game. I'd rather go win every game and never lose a game. But it's kind of set up a little differently this year with the day off in between the first 2 games. So your game 1 and game 2 starters can now pitch game 4 and 5, if that were the case. But I mean, I think strategy, I'm just trying to hit. So I think that would be a question for Doc if they were in that group. I'm just trying to do the best I can to get hits.
Last one's Freddie. Right in front.
Freddie, congrats on a great season so far. So it seems like the national narrative is you guys have a great offense, historically great, first team to score 900 runs since the franchise moved to LA. But can you talk about all the confidence you have in the pitching staff to have enough to get it done in October?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it's been talking about our pitching. We have Clayton is the only one from our opening day rotation that's in there now. We have a lot of, we have Emmett, you have Bobby, who's taken massive steps from the first start he made this year to what he looks like now. Michael Groves taking down quality ends, Gavin Stone, Lance Lynn, Ryan Yarbrough, who's been huge for us ever since we got him over. And then the back of our bullpen, I mean, you got Bazooka, you got Caleb. Gratterall had an unbelievable year, and it's been, what we, as a closer, he's been unbelievable. So I think it's just everything's shaped up. We have rookies in our starting rotation, but when you have the rookies that are those kind of rookies, you feel good about them because they're quality people. They're awesome to be in the clubhouse with, and they have great arms. So I think we feel confident with our group.
Awesome, thanks, Rick.
Here in the second row.
Hey, Freddie. Did you like that inter-squad game was open to the fans the other day, or how did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, they were like doing interviews and all that kind of stuff during the game. It did bring a lot of, it's fun. You got those fans that come and want to watch us practice. They love the Dodgers, so it was cool. They had music, they were giving out Dodger dogs. I thought it was a great time, and obviously we played 6 innings that day, so there's a lot of baseball for them to come out on a weekday to support us and let us know that they care. I thought that was a really, really cool thing.
Last one's Freddie.